How to solve for a series circuit. Remember, letter designations work as the following. E, we will be finding volts. I, will be looking for amps. R, will be looking for resistance. If you watched our Ohm's Law video, we did not discuss R. I saved R for series and parallel. R is a resistor, so it's the resistance level. So it kind of changes our pie chart a little bit when dealing with Ohm's Law. So we're going to discuss that just a little bit. Three rules that we have to remember for solving a series circuit. E total is equal to E1 plus E2 plus E3 finds E total. To find R total is R1 plus R2 plus R3. That will give us R total. The one rule you have to remember in series circuits, amps stay the same. Say it with me. Amps stay the same. So, to find I total, all you need to know is I1, it's the same as I2, it's the same as I3. So what I want to do is I want to solve a circuit. I have a basic circuit here. I have three resistors. I know I have resistor number 1 is a 10 ohm, resistor number 2 is a 20 ohm, and resistor number 3 is a 30 ohm. My totals are not found, so we're going to find them together. So let's do the math. We just discussed to find total resistance, we have to do what? We have to add up R1, R2, and R3, and that will give us our total resistance. So, R1 is 10, R2 is 20, R3 is 30. 30 plus 20 plus 10 is 60 ohms. So we have 60 ohms. The next step that we want to do is we want to say to ourselves, what else do we need? Well, in this example, resistor number 1 has an amperage of 1.5 amps. We know that our amperage stays the same. Always remember that when solving a series circuit, your amperage is going to stay the same in the circuit no matter what. That's your I total, I1, I2, I3, I4, I5, I10, I50, I20. It doesn't matter how many you have, your amperage stays the same in a series circuit. So if I have 1.5 amps here, then I know a couple things. I know that I2 is 1.5 amps. I also know that I3 is 1.5 amps. And I also know that my total is 1.5 amps. Now, this is where we kind of get into changing some things around. What I want to do is I want to show you another Ohm's Law chart that will give you an easy designation just like we have in the past. And remember, if you haven't watched our Ohm's Law video, check it out. It may help you. What I do want to show you is I want to show you another pie chart. And this pie chart is set up a little bit different. So we know from using the pie chart in Ohm's Law, if you haven't watched it, please do, volts, amps, resistance. If I divide this, if I divide volts into amps or volts into resistance, I can get one or the other. If I multiply amps and resistance, then I will be able to find my volts. So what do we have left completing our series circuit? We have just volts. Okay? So we know we have to do what? We have to do basic Ohm's Law. And if we come over to the chart, I hope you guys all can see this. If you come over to the chart, we have amps, we have resistance, we're going to multiply them to find the volts. So this will be pretty simple. Resistor number 1. Resistor number 1 has 1.5 amps and it's multiplied by 10 ohms. So what do we get? We get, that's correct, 15 volts. The next one, we have 1.5 amps multiplied by 20, that gives us 30 volts. When we go through and we do the math for resistor number 3, 1.5 times 30 is, yep, you got it, 45 volts. Now, what's the rule? How do we find total volts? We find total volts by E1 plus E2 plus E3 will give us E total. So if I take 15, 30, and 45 and I add them together, I get 90 volts. This is how we complete a series circuit. This is how we solve for it. The more resistors, the more math. But the basic things that you're going to be looking for is volts, amps, and resistance. And you have to remember that volts and amps and resistance are going to be found in all types of electrical. When solving a series circuit, remember, volts is additive, resistance is additive, amps stay the same. I hope this helps you. Do me a favor, subscribe, click the bell, and stay tuned for the next video.